So you guys want to hear something really insane? The title of this video. And I kid you guys not, and I say this with no exaggeration. There's no review key, no sponsored look. Trust me, guys, I can't even get Nintendo to look my way. All right, as of a review key, I tried. I got no reply. All right, three companies I can't get to work with me are Capcom, Konami, and Nintendo. I have tried and tried. But anyway, no lie, Nintendo has probably one of the best, if not the best, looter shooters out right now. And that game is Splatoon Raiders. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Gamers and game, that's what is going on. My name is Tanek027 and welcome back to another video. And guys, in today's video, we're going to be talking about Splatoon Raiders. However, if you want to stay up to date on all things Splatoon and Nintendo, make sure you're liking today's video, subscribing to the channel if you are new, and let's go ahead and get right on into today's topic. So, you guys have seen this happen multiple times with looter shooters and, live service loot-like games. They launch half-baked. Not much of an end game's there. Features are missing. It's terribly optimized and stuff like that. This game has none of those problems. None. There's no microtransactions, at least for right now, and we're going to get to that part because I do have a prediction that I want to make for the future of this game. There's plenty of end game content. I've been looking on YouTube, seeing sneak peeks. The end game of Splatoon Raiders is actually insane and damn near endless, and that is no exaggeration. We'll talk about that in a little bit from what I've seen. There's plenty of character customization. There's amiibo support. There is lots of looting, base building, and stuff to do. There is multiplayer. There is difficult bosses. There is hard mode versions of dungeons. There is a fully fleshed out campaign and story. All right, and all those features you expect in a looter shooter, or when these types of games launch, to be missing, Nintendo has them there. The only thing is that may not appeal to everybody is it's a Splatoon game. But if any other game did launch like this, let's say Destiny or Anthem or the First Descendant or any of those types of looter shooter games had a launch like this, you guys would have been blown away. But Splatoon Raiders is probably one of the most addictive looter shooters I've ever played. And you guys know here on the channel, I'm a huge fan of the First Descendant. I didn't get too much into Destiny, but I did enjoy Destiny. I enjoy Warframe. I've played a lot of these different games. Well, Splatoon Raiders is just flat out addictive. Now, I don't have my exact hour count on the game yet because, it just came out literally a day or two ago, but I have at least 12, 15 hours in this game, if not maybe more. My hour count's not showing on my profile yet, so unfortunately I can't tell you guys how many hours I have in this game, but I'm at level roughly 21, 22 right now. Probably, I'm going to assume from what I've seen online, maybe halfway through the story of the game and stuff like that. I've ran a few hard mode dungeons, I've fought some difficult bosses, I've done a lot of multiplayer, and I've tinkered around with all kinds of different builds. And that's right, guys, there is insane build variety in here. Basically, what they did is they took the bones of the Splatoon games and turned it into a looter shooter. Now, you'll look at this game and notice, well, it's not that graphically impressive. It looks like a typical Splatoon game. When you look at the particle effects and all the different things going on the screen, in the multiplayer sessions and stuff like that, you'll see why they made this a Switch 2 game. And the crazy part about it is, with all of this going on, the game is optimized as hell, which is a scary part. That is scary. That's unknown, especially in the looter shooter land. There's always some type of issue or dips or anything like that. But you can have billions of enemies on the screen, all two or three of your partners, throwing up their craziest attacks, and just boom, 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 throwing everything. I have tried overwhelming this game so hard in so many of my dungeon runs, thinking of the craziest combinations of, just paint and crazy effects I can do to make frames dip in this game. And they don't drop. Now, disclaimer, Digital Foundry may do their, review and check this game out, and they'll get all specific with you. Oh, we were able to make it drop to 56 FPS at this specific part or something like that. I don't give a damn. The game runs clean as hell. There's character creation and all that stuff. And like I said, guys, the only thing is it just takes place in the Splatoon universe. And I know this style of the Inklings, it may not be for everybody. But this is a cool thing on the Switch 2 because at the end of the day, the Switch and Switch 2, they don't have a lot of looter shooters. Warframe is on there, but that is pretty much it. And you don't have the First Ascendant. Destiny, has stopped support. So I highly doubt they're going to bring Destiny 2 to the Switch 2, even though it probably works since it launched on, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. But, guys, this is a really good alternative if you're looking for a solid looter shooter. And that's whether, you're a more casual player or a hardcore player when it comes to looter shooter. It doesn't matter. There's going to be something in this game for you. And that's the crazy part to say, because I had my doubts a couple times. When Splatoon Raiders was first announced, I saw the term Raiders and I assumed, because Splatoon's always been a PvP game, all right, I think Nintendo's going to try and make, their own take on an extraction shooter. That's what I first thought Splatoon Raiders was going to be when it was first announced, because we didn't know much about it. But then when I was looking at news and they were finally starting to talk about the game and show details, it came out to be a looter shooter and a great one. Guys, y'all, if you got a Switch 2, you gotta play this. That's all I'm gonna say. Hopefully the gameplay here on the screen speaks for itself and speaks volumes, just tells you things about the optimization and the kind of builds and teamwork synergies and stuff like that you can put in this game. But if you love Warframe, Destiny, or any of those games and you own a Switch 2, you absolutely need to play this. Now, there's no DLC or microtransactions in the game for now, but one common thing I see with a lot of Nintendo's games is they usually announce the game comes out, it gets announced at like a direct or something like that. It comes out, it's out for a while and everything, and they end up announcing an expansion pass, to add more content, either a direct or two later. That usually happens a lot with all their games, even though a lot of their single player titles too. So it would not surprise me if Splatoon Raiders, especially, as good as the game is doing right now, it wouldn't surprise me if, they announced an expansion pass to add more content to the game, because realistically, people are going to want more of this game. Guys, it is that good. And like I said, no sponsored look, no review key, not that that would matter, but this game is solid. All right, hands down. If you are on Switch 2 and you want a looter shooter, here you go. And it is going to deliver all those bells and whistles you are asking for. $49.99, not even a full priced retail $60 or $70 game. Go get it. I am so serious. And I would love some people to play with. My Switch friend code is right there on the screen. It goes by on the screen all the time when I make these videos. So feel free to send me an ad. Just let me know if you do down in the comments so I know it's you. But anyway, guys, y'all enjoyed today's video. Smash that like. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out. Have a good one.